Hello, Commanders, and welcome to the first ever Commanders in Conflict Invitational, where you, the viewers, have risen the ranks to fight our all-star hero cast. This is a one to watch for certain, because it's Mohammed versus Dankus.
Players like Mohammed have been practicing not only on Sundays when he plays his games, but also almost every single day. I see him looking for matches in other servers as well.
They are strong competitors.
We casters are not supposed to be very biased. However, in Habibi's and I experience, when we were watching through, Mohammed's and some Zero's games always were the most like bangers, if that makes any sense, because the level of play just stood out above all the others. I expect it to be a lot closer than people would make it out to be.
The first round is on Nordvin. Dankus playing the Axis, which means he starts with much of Finland. Mohammed, the Allied Nations. Dankus is now decrypting the Allied Nations. 362 days to go. That won't be done in time for the war. War's in 210 days. There's the final focus from that. Is this now going to be a faction pick?
Dankus with a Japanese pick, but we're going to see a Navy brawl then, because if Dankus goes the left side, then he will get the Imperial Japanese Navy, a big Navy.
Imperial Japanese Navy.
We're going to see a Navy brawl.
Has come out. So it's Navy, and it is Navy on the Allied side as well.
Yeah.
We've got plans all over the place already being executed. They're going to move as soon as the war declares, which is in 3 days' time.
Yeah.
There we are. Here's the war. So Allied player Mohammed pushes his troops forward immediately, sweeping into new territory. But Stockholm is looking like it's going to be pretty easily for the Allies. It's not even being contested by Dankus. So what is Dankus's? That does surprise me that there was just no fight at all for Stockholm.
Especially since the fleet, Mohammed's fleet was busy north of Norway. Like, it wasn't even here.
Mohammed deployed his entire fleet north, so
Dankus is just letting him take all of this land right now. Dankus could have kept pushing, trying to get the other ports that's along the Swedish coast. But no, he's just sitting there right now. At this point, even if we look at the casualties of the war, there is none. They haven't even fought each other.
Zero casualties after well, was it now like 5 months of fighting, basically 5 months of war.
Talk about the phony war. And I think there it is. He's going in for a battle. The naval battle.
Here we are.
And there it is.
That's it. The moment.
Finally. Let's go.
We've got
action.
Destroyers being sunk on both sides. That carrier is on that Allied carrier is on very low HP. So are the capital ships.
Yeah, I think this might be the end of the Allied fleet. Heck no, it just happened.
So Allied carrier sunk. Two Allied cruisers sank. Battleships sunk. The Allied fleet is dead.
Yes.
Pretty much. This is it. Dankus has got the naval superiority that he needs.
But does he want it? That's
is he going to use it? What's he going to use it for? What's the?
So the naval battle won. We finally get to see what we were discussing. He now has full reign over the seas. He can do whatever he wants to do to attack via the sea. But is he going to utilize it?
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I don't see anything from Dankus. Okay, here's a naval invasion from Mohammed. Dankus has now got to try and deal with it. And yeah, Dankus is having to react now to these cavalry divisions. It seems to be a real strategy from the open players.
Yeah.
It's just get loads of cavalry and do your best to embarrass the invited players. Here we go. Here's the attack across the strait. Dankus has done an attack.
Finally, and
that's literally the first one he's done.
He is doing a little bit of damage, but not a lot. And the org bars are barely even moving right now. But again, I think we can go back to the fact that we didn't see any plan from him in the beginning of the game at all. Is that the GG? He typed GG. Yeah, that's the GG. I'd actually like to ask him, did you have a plan?
He just won. I mean,
straight up.
He took the victory points at the start. They didn't change hands. They weren't even really threatened. There was only, that was, I think, the only combat of the whole game was over that strait crossing.
That strait crossing and the 6 cavalry units that died. That was
the cavalry, of course, on the invasion from Mohammed. But that was it.
Okay, so we started off very similar to the casters over here. You know, like, oh, he must have a plan. He must have a plan. And then it became increasingly clear that it really seemed like he didn't. Or if he did have a plan, the plan was not good. It's a new round. It's a new story across the Rhine. As we barrel towards war, let's see how it goes. It looks like Paris is about to fall. Yep. Dankus has troops nearby, but he hasn't seen. Okay, now he sees.
He's not going to capitulate from that, but it is so bad for him because he loses all those factories for a brief moment.
All that production efficiency gone. And the push to Amsterdam very much ongoing. Not successfully. The tank holding Amsterdam makes a lot of sense. Obviously, it's a key part of the line. I mean, his front line needs a little bit of adjusting, which he's doing now. It's a difficult moment to be adjusting it, but the breakthrough is looking pretty good. His light tanks Once again, oh my god, once again, the Axis' tanks are driving through the Ardennes every time.
How do they keep getting away with
How
it?
they can't keep getting away with this.
Oh, he is one tile away from pocketing 11 divisions right now.
Oh
There
my
is
god.
no
so
way
he
that
is.
goes through.
The light tank is trying to push in there.
No, he's got it.
Oh
He's
no,
got
the
it.
other
There's
side!
No
The
way.
other side! Oh my god!
Dankus has broken it out, but will Mohammed be able to pin him in position? He's lost one. He got it, but will he be broken out? Oh my god.
Right now, red air is being experienced by Mohammed, no doubt slowing all of these offensive maneuvers, and those tanks have managed to force attack their way into reopening that pocket. Oh, that's dangerous. That's very dangerous. That's a potential for a entire encirclement of the southern half of the front or a capitulation. A desperate defensive line has been established by Dankus, and let's take a look at what might be the final moments of the great Dankus in our competition here. He's definitely not giving up, and I respect this. He is still going, he's still fighting. He knows that if he can just hold the line, his theoretically superior production can begin to hold things for him here, but look at that. An encirclement near Mulhouse, it's not looking good, and that's a serious number of troops right now pushing from Dunkirk.
But Mohammed is making a crucial error. He might lose 16 divisions in Dunkirk. We are going... They're getting Dunkirk. He's getting
not
Dunkirk.
good. That's not good for Mohammed.
He's pulling out, though. He did pull out. He got him out.
Oh my lord, that could have been the difference maker. That could have been the difference maker. Oh, but no, they were able to retreat. That gives Dankus a little bit of initiative, though. Time to stabilize this front. Time to stay in this match. Now, this is what I'm talking about, though. Dankus still fighting on.
He's actually... Oh, there's a hole in the lines again.
That's risky, though. That's risky because Dankus can close it up behind him.
Yep.
That's the light tank.
This could be a... That's a light tank one right there.
That is the tank division on the axis.
All the divisions, or a lot of the divisions retreated into the pocket, so we've got 4 divisions in that pocket now.
Oh my lord, it is not looking good. Oh, live reaction looking concerned. The lean forwards. Mohammed is taking it serious now. Mohammed is doing a lot of attacks that are not working, and there is a very dangerous encirclement. That's what happens when you don't have a tank.
And that is like 10 divisions gone, if not more than that.
God, that is massive. We can't speak too soon because that pocket is being broken open. The tank has been deorged, and in fact, it may all suddenly turn around. The classic attack, counterattack, counterattack, counterattack.
Oh, no.
That tank is being encircled right now in mere hours. In 1 day and 20 hours, the encirclement is complete, but the last stand may save it. But there we go. The pocket was indeed closed. Side, and look at that. The withdrawal. He's falling back to the Rhine. And it looks like he is now choosing to try and fall back and hold on to Amsterdam and Frankfurt. That is his only hope. Cologne, he knows he can't hold. It's the wrong side of the Rhine. It's really, really challenging. Oh, but he's deorged Amsterdam. That's not good. There goes the attack from Rotterdam. Amsterdam already retreated.
I believe there's going to be a GG soon, because Mohammed is going to realize he cannot, because he can't push back. He can't take... This strategy was 100% into knocking Dankus out early. It's 100%.
That's the end of round 2, and that is a point for Dankus to stay in the tournament.
Third map is Sonnenblume. You may remember Sonnenblume from previous Command and Conflict tournaments.
Dankus over in the Allied nations and Mohammed over here in the Axis.
Yeah, so we got 5 rather than 3. So starting on the east there, you got Benghazi, and then Wadan down in the desert to the south, Gabez west of Tripoli, and then Malta and Crete at the top of your screen are the 2 island victory points.
Air zones have been switched up to what you might be used to in vanilla. You'll see that we have Eastern Maghreb, followed by Tunisia, Tripoli, and perhaps I'll let you pronounce this one. Cyrenaica?
Cyrenaica, yeah.
Cyrenaica.
That sounds like it could be right.
Sounds plausible. That sounds plausible. Look at that already paradropping in at great pace.
Yeah, Crete has been taken by the Allies immediately.
Interestingly, a naval invasion going for Malta, much slower.
It's much slower. There's 2 paramilitary divisions from the Axis side dug in there. That's going to really frustrate Dankus' progress. He's now got to stop and clear them out.
But we are seeing right now almost 3-to-1 advantage in numbers on Mohammed's side.
This game's going to be about, can Dankus attack? How does Dankus go forward to take the point he needs?
As we all know, Dankus is a heck of a player, and Mohammed will find himself at some point, inevitably,
faced with a mighty, mighty attack that he's going to have an answer for.
Yes, it's quite interesting that the Dankus is leaving that middle province empty on his front line.
Yes.
He's happy to like invite Mohamed to come in here. Also, what you want to happen here, because considering what we saw in the last round, is that he beat him on micro. Dankus is thinking about it.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
gonna push up, but the line that Mohamed is holding is it's a province back from the front line on all
And
three.
he is piercing them pretty nicely. 42 armor to 45 piercing. Not looking so hot anymore. The train line is connected all the way down here now with this very inland train line, trying to keep things safe there. And even with that supply dominance, the supply efficiency not looking so hot. 20%, 18% on some of these. Ouch!
Yeah, the trouble is we're seeing here from Mohamed is the trade-offs of like a short-term strategy versus a long-term one in terms of like strength.
Now, this, we were talking that
Oof.
Mohamed needed some kind of answer to this problem. This,
The answer is a absolutely gigantic naval invasion.
I mean, I'm not optimistic, but oh my god,
There's no defenders. There's 2 divisions.
There's 2 divisions and 4 available to rush deploy. This could be crippling. If this works,
here's Dankus.
it's launched! Here we go. Okay, let's watch this from Dankus's perspective. We don't know when the ships are going to arrive. We're having a good time. We're glad we're the ones that were assigned to Port Said and Alexandria. So a few are being intercepted, but a huge portion of them are not. And I'm not seeing any movement on Dankus's front line yet. The airbase being captured is a really nice touch.
And there's a massive offensive now on the land front, and there's troops landing now.
Okay, there they are. Airbase captured. Landing both sides of Alexandria. What a play.
I'm going to cut to Dankus's POV.
Yes, go for it. Go for it.
He's got situations all over the front at the moment.
This could go either way, honestly. This could really go either way. Attempting to rush south to cut the train line over to Benghazi. So far, not successful. No luck pushing in here, but forcing his troops to stay present. Alexandria encircled. The Suez being crossed. Troops landing west of Port Said.
He's going to take Cairo very shortly.
It's going to take him a while to move there because of the lack of supplies. 2 days and 11 hours with the possibility of a counterattack from Port Said pinning him. It's going to be anyone's match here. He's got the airbase back.
There's a massive breakthrough from Dankus here on the western front.
Oh god, so there is.
So this is what I was thinking about earlier. He's become a bare knuckle micro fight.
Whoa, he like sent so many of his. I didn't realize it was this thin.
Yeah.
Holy heck.
Yeah. Mohamed has gone completely all out on this naval invasion.
That is
Dankus has hit him with the punches on the land now.
Cairo has fallen though, meaning that Dankus's military production essentially just ceased.
Yeah, 55% towards capitulation now, Dankus.
He'd need Alexandria to fall, but he's holding it for now. Damage is done on Cairo, but it seems like that is
the front line has been pushed back.
It's
all sort of spiraling a bit here.
This looks bad.
Mohamed.
This looks very, very bad. And that's the GG.
And that is the GG.
Wow.
I just can't get over the fact that he was there. He had the victory points. He had a stable front line in Africa.
I can't agree. I can't agree. He had a position he knew he was going to lose. He had a position that was not sustainable. Yes, he had 3 victory points, but it wasn't going to stay that way. He knew that the build-up from Dankus was going to punch through, which meant a play had to be made.
Let's see the man himself. Let's talk to Dankus, shall we? I expect nothing less. Hello, Dankus. How was that?
The first map I'm not proud of.
You shouldn't be.
Yeah. But, I needed my rest, so I rested on the first map, and then I can, get going on the new maps, Like, if I do nothing, he will expect me to have some grand plan, whereas he's just overthinking and using his energy on nothing, whereas I have my energy for the next 2 games,
2 of our players have gone home, and the winners are ready to face off to decide which of them deserves their spot in the final.
Yes, we have one heck of a matchup ahead of us. Let's throw it to the caster bunker and begin the first game of our semi-finals.
We are heading back to Nordvin with Dankus. This time, he's going to do something. Some things are going to happen from Dankus.
I think step 1 of his master plan should be advance forward. Go forward. Try and take more than just 1 VP immediately.
Seagull's perspective. See if he is doing too much.
Maybe it looks like there's some lag.
We are pausing. There may be some kind of lag. We'll switch to Dankus' POV.
Dankus is partying right now.
Dankus is delighted at the prospect of winning by default, I think, if there are
Due to an unforeseen technical error, our semi-final today will not be taking place as Segel is unable to continue playing. Therefore, Dankus will be moving through.
It's unfortunate, but, you know, technical things happen. Unfortunately, sometimes the internet dies on you when you wish it hadn't.
So, boys, in the tournament, you might know I did not get to play against Segel. But me and Segel, we have decided we're still going to play against each other. I think it's only fair and square that we got our match in. The tournament might be over. I still wanted to, you know, not make him have wasted 70 weeks and stuff. And we're doing this.
Boys, I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed me at least playing this semi-final.
Welcome back, everybody. We are finally here. The grand final is upon us.
I mean, it's been a heck of a tournament so far. And, you know, it may seem to some of our viewers like this story only goes back 2 days, but it's not true. The Open has been going for weeks and weeks. These players have been battling it out all for this moment. Sub-Zero versus Dankus, the grand final.
Sweden versus Norway. It's all coming down to this.
Absolutely. And we saw Sub-Zero obviously display dominance in his games so far.
There goes Lubeck. He is at... There it is.
There it is. There's the capitulation. I'll say commanding victory for Sub-Zero.
And he annexes it very fast as well. Oh, did he pop at him?
I think he did. Yeah, he puppeted the Axis powers.
Is that little BM?
Hello, Dankus. Hello, Sub-Zero. Are we ready, Dankus?
Yeah.
Sub-Zero, how do you feel? You've risen through the Open League. You've risen through the Invitational. How does it feel to be here in the grand final?
It's really exciting, but I'm also really nervous, so it's both ways.
Don't worry, I am too. I tend to throw these kind of things, so...
He's not wrong, Sub-Zero, for the record. Dankus is right.
It's not my first time, but it's also like... I've done this before in a way that is not good.
So we have the first pick from Sub-Zero. That is going to be Across the Rhine. Of course, followed by Dankus's pick of Across the Rhine.
So it's all going to come down to which way across the Rhine, I think, at this point, because it's obviously, we've been calling it the favorite. It's clearly the favorite.
Dankus, any final words before you have to get ready for the game?
Esports!
So we're in the game now. The 3 victory points, which you may be familiar with by now. Amsterdam, Cologne in the center, and then Frankfurt in the south. These are the 3 key victory points our players have to capture to win a game of Commanders in Conflict.
It's funny how identical they are. There's like 1 factory difference. I think it's Sub-Zero who has 1 factory on trains, and that is and that's what separates them, because otherwise they would have had the same on fighters as well and the same on guns before. And there's
Here
the
we
wall.
go. Here is the war.
Yeah, 2 victory points seized by Sub-Zero already. Frankfurt's just seized by Dankus. So now are we going to reach this point where they're going to stalemate on the river? No, Sub-Zero going on the offensive, trying to take Frankfurt, maybe not realizing. It looks like, is Dankus pulling off a strategy that he doesn't want to take? the territory in the north right now.
Yeah, we'll show it over to your screen and show you this. So we have a sliver of neutral terrain here in the Netherlands, which Dankus is not taking.
You can start a planning bonus on these tiles, and then the enemy won't be able to attack you. You can build up planning bonus and then move through the tile and attack afterwards. That's something that we see in our multiplayer games sometimes.
Okay.
Though. And there's the attack from him, pushing him towards Arnhem.
Counter-attack here. It is not being successful currently.
Does the damage.
He is pushing through here, Dankus, trying to counter-attack west of Dusseldorf and take that province to join up.
Oh,
It now means we've got an encirclement. It's full flipped around immediately.
But they still have the port, though, so there is still supply in here. But if Dankus holds Utrecht and immediately attacks up north after this, he could get an encirclement on Arnhem, and that would be a bridge too far.
You can see Dankus desperately moving his troops around to the north, trying to get close to it to attack, and the tank has made it back. Sub-Zero is going to be trying. He has now withdrawn. He's got them out. So just getting the tank up there, Sub-Zero, who was not far away there from potentially losing the game. If that tank goes off on the board, that's his big advantage over Dankus at this stage.
It's very, very dangerous for him. Now, Sub-Zero taking the time to actually pressure Frankfurt as well, as we can see.
Yeah, a bit of a counter-offensive here. Frankfurt, of course, another victory point. It's right on the end of Dankus's line.
Oh, wait, he's got all 3 points now. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, they're all German. He's pushed across into Cologne to take that, I assume, whilst Sub-Zero was distracted by what was going on in Holland.
Maybe an encirclement coming up in the south here. 2 units only is the only thing holding there.
This is very threatening.
And that could be huge.
Pushed. Here comes Dankus. He's pinning. Desperate to get him out.
Takes 3 days to get out of the tile, though. Can he make it in? Well, how far is Dankus? Is 1 day from coming out. Oh, that is... Oh, we are...
And he's tried... And Sub-Zero has moved across, tried to hold it. But he's struggling here.
Oh, he made it out. That is...
Just in time. Just in time. This is like really top-level play from both players here. US Armed Forces, 267,000 casualties, only 149 on Dankus' side. So there's your 127,000 extra casualties that have been destroyed by Dankus. Maybe Sub-Zero can look at what Dankus is doing here and think, do you know what, I can do that strategy too. Trouble is, it's that micro play that Dankus is managing to trade better than Sub-Zero has.
Speaking of micro, Dankus going for a huge encirclement here. Will Sub-Zero be able to go out of that? That might be a GG if he gets that. Gets pinned in the last second right there.
And that's the tank pinned in there.
Are they gonna be able to make it in there? They are force attacking. He's killing his own units right now. The strength is gone in a moment.
Dreadful.
Antwerp about to fall any second now. Will they be able to retreat out of it? He's force attacking across the front. But it's also important to notice what you're not seeing on screen right now. Dankus is coming in around Luxembourg as well, going below the line right there, trying to do an encirclement from the south at the same time. And there's the encirclement. Tank is encircled.
That's a lot of divisions. And the medium tank. If he loses these, it's going to be getting pretty close to GG territory for Sub-Zero, you would imagine.
But if Dankus gets this one in the south, that is the GG, because that is 20 units that is about to be encircled.
I think that's a GG. That is a GG from Sub-Zero. That's the end of the round.
The players have been saying for weeks, across the Rhine, allies can't be beat. Well, turns out they can. What an upset, with Dankus proving that he deserves the top spot. And some amazing use of the kind of inviting your enemy in strats, basically. The risky play that Dankus had, where we were looking at his line and we were thinking, but talking, off stage, we were saying, is that intentional? Is there meant to be a gap? Is there meant to be a gap? God, he's running in the encirclement. But then suddenly, all just coming apart. And we are off. Here we go. So we've been having some good names so far. The win this or lose tournament infantry are being deployed. To me, this region right here, this is the decisive battleground that will determine the victory. We come over here to Sub-Zero. We've got only 50 weapons 2, but 70 weapons 1 for Sub-Zero right now. Of course, weapons 2 is significantly better than the weapons 1, but sometimes you just need bodies on the front, right? Your limiting factor is not always going to be the stats on your divisions. It's going to be whether you have a division in that moment blocking that point. And there we go. The war has started, and it all comes down to this. Sub-Zero's push into Cologne already defeated, but he did in the end manage to launch, land, and he's pushing the tank out of Amsterdam. An integral part of his strategy. Oh, wow.
Full on attack. Not like what Dankus did, setting up the line and not having anything on the defensive down there, but actually going full on the offensive. I'm not sure.
Battle for Amsterdam is tough stuff. But yeah, not willing to let Dankus anywhere near Frankfurt. Sub-Zero desperately trying to push in the south, but just not managing to make it work in Amsterdam. Dankus is winning here, though. Little bit of a breakthrough, little bit of a worrying moment. Of course, there's no Maginot
Encirclement
line.
right there.
Yes, nice. First encirclement of the match goes to SumZero. Very nice. That is looking like 30,000 manpower that Dankus is unlikely to get back. Is he able to break it out? Yes, here comes the tank. The tank looking to break it out from Metz. Having to cross the river. Yes, that looks like that breakout is going to go through. Even though that pocket didn't close, half of these divisions, you look at the strength bar there, fully half of those divisions did die.
But we are looking at the casualties, though. We can't see that SumZero, you can tell that he's the one who's been on the offensive the most because he has lost 127,000 men to Dankus' 39,000.
3-to-1 casualty ratios. I mean, it's the kind of thing you might expect with a kind of infantry rush build, but it's really, really struggling now. In the air, meanwhile, bear in mind, let's take a quick look at this. So we said neither player building planes, and look, that's still true, but that isn't stopping SumZero from having green air all the way across this front, because he has those fighters from his focus tree right now. We have a pretty big manpower problem on SumZero's side. It's not looking great for him for now, and there it is. That is a GG from SumZero. Unfortunate. He knows that it was all about the initial push. The initial push has not worked, and SumZero has called it.
I mean, Dankus read me really well. Like, he saw my pick and everything from there just went badly.
And Dankus, you're 2-0 up. However, you're known to throw things. So,
yes,
tell me.
This is the point where it goes downwards.
Oh, you actually think you're going to throw now? Is that what I'm hearing? No, you've got to have something. You've got to have something up your sleeve, surely. Let's throw it to our casters for Game 3 of this grand final of the CIC Invitational. We'll see you over there.
It all comes down to this. Yeah, absolutely. And you can see over on Dankus' side with his intel agency, he can see that there is this one factory on tanks for SumZero. So if he is watching, he may start to get a picture whether he picks up on the degree to which his opponent is going medium tanks, maybe pivots to building anti-tank in response, or anti-air in response.
There it is.
And there, in fact, he's literally seen it and he has adapted very quickly. He had naval invasions lined up on Malta and Crete.
Big divisions going there. Meanwhile, the paratroopers appear to have dropped with losses, or perhaps it's simply that they haven't been reinforced.
Yeah,
and there is the battle.
They're being pushed off because that's a generic.
Let's take a look at this here. We need to keep eyes on this battle.
Division,
that is very, very close. We need to see. Yes, there's the general, and there's the last stand. And now you have to imagine an attempt is going to be made to push more paratroopers into the gap. But even with the last stand, it's not enough.
Crete is fallen. And of course, the naval superiority on this map is with the Axis, with the Japanese pick, which means it's going to be almost impossible for SumZero to recover Crete. And with both islands in Dankus' category, it means he only needs to hold Gabez, and he will win.
That is outrageous. Outrageous. Not a great turn up for the books for SumZero here. That is looking very, very dangerous. I mean, this is looking really quite dangerous. What's happening is interesting, though. As you can see, SumZero is rushing everything up. Dankus is keeping his men at Gabes. I mean, Gabez, not really feeling the need to push down to Tripoli even. He's just going straight past. Now, a problem for SumZero, he is currently neglecting his truck needs. He needs 160. He has 30 in supplies, so his logistical fulfillment is absolutely horrendous. But the interesting strategy from Dankus, acknowledging the fact that he did indeed manage to take Crete. He didn't need to push past there. All he has to do now is hold Gabez. It's definitely not over.
No.
The allied nation here, especially in the hands of someone really, really potent and competent like SumZero, has a lot to answer for.
The supply lines into this part of Africa for the allies are really poor at the moment. They're having to push their supplies up from Tripoli with no supply hub closer. So that's taking a long time to reach the front.
You can see the attempt to fix that there.
Yeah, there's a supply hub being built in this province here.
And the rail connection going a long way from the sea, literally as far into the desert as is possible. That rail is being laid. And the other problem about building this all the way up here is that if he extends the front line, or if he extends the rail all the way here, which he doesn't need to do, remember, he could connect from Tripoli. Of course, that puts this supply line in grave danger of being supplied. But if he were to lose this and then start losing, it's kind of like a lose more mechanic, right? Because he's built the enemy rail all the way over towards Benghazi. The push south is being made, and there's the attack moving out. He should have time to move out, but that is risky, and he's now looking like he might be at risk of losing.
It's a dangerous moment now for Sub-Zero.
That is very dangerous.
He's going to get the tanks out just in time.
Is he? It was unbelievably
very close. The tank does get out, but now he's lost a substantial amount of territory. Gabez is no longer threatened.
And there we go, losing the supply hub. Absolutely devastating for Sub-Zero as he's forced back here. And the encirclement threat still on.
Moving towards Tripoli. If he takes Tripoli, that's another supply hub gone, and that would leave the Allied troops there in a critical supply situation.
But here we go. The supply situation for this is improved. But look, the naval invasion on Tripoli has started, being thrown back into the sea. And there we go, a little encirclement.
Counter-attack now from the
being reopened.
Allies.
Reopened.
And it does get in there.
Last stand.
And the thing is, the trouble is, these tanks are not able to stand up to Dankus' infantry divisions.
They're not. Things are improving, and look at this. The tanks, they have great stats, but they don't have the organization to stand up to these heavy infantry pushes. Just the sheer wave of overwhelming force coming in here, and I don't see this attack slowing down, because as we were saying, that's the risk of building this big line of railway that's going to help you supply your attack. It can help your enemy as well. And look at this. This attack shows no signs of slowing down. First encirclement is being threatened. All these tanks stuck down here. They haven't been able to reorganize at all. They've just been stuck in this one province, driven from here to here to here to here to here to here, never able to regain a coherent front. Dankus deciding he was overextending, moving too far from his supply lines. A strat redeploy, garrisoning Tripoli. Yes, I imagine he did suddenly freak out and realize if Tripoli and this railway crossroad cut, he would suddenly lose his entire army.
Dankus in the really fragile supply position, just with the train line that Sub-Zero built. That's all that's sustaining his troops around Wadan.
But right now, it's 4 VPs to 1. Building another supply hub in Wadan just to absolutely secure things here. And look at that, another offensive launched. It's looking devastating.
Yeah, it is at this point. It's very, very difficult to see how Sub-Zero can come back from this. Now with 4 victory points to Dankus, the only one Sub-Zero's got is Benghazi, and we are heading that way now with this.
Look at the strength on these divisions. They're absolutely getting massacred in the port as it gets pushed back. Oh my lord, I don't see it. I don't see it! But as this push comes towards Benghazi and the plains are becoming more decisively in Dankus' favor.
There's a really strong advance east of Benghazi. It looks like Dankus is heading his way to a 3-0 win.
There it is.
In the grand final. Was that a GG?
That is it.
Nobody believes in you. You've lost again and again and again. The lights are cut off, but you're still looking at your dream, reviewing it every day and say to yourself, it's not over until I win.
Grand champion.
It's official. Dankus reigns supreme.
Now here he is, finally in the final, finally with the victory. It's Dankus.
I don't know, man. Like, this isn't just micro. This is a lot about builds. I was not a aggressive player per se in this tournament. I was more a responsive player, so to speak. I see what they're doing and I try to counter what they're doing, because that's how I think I play the game the best.
Hey, you like the video, subscribe and watch these videos.